Hello and happy Sunday. Always a pleasure to be live here on Facebook. And of course on Fatherhood Gist With Favour. My name is Favour Chinaza Ogwibe. I know that if you have been following me, you know me already. I am the founder of Fatherhood Affairs Initiative and the host of Fatherhood Gist With Favour. And you know that I am always bringing you sweet fatherhood gist. You can trust me on that. And today I have your guest. Guess who this guest is? Okay guys, so today I have with me
Lillian Obada.
Thank you, Lillian, for coming.
I'm really very excited to be here with you on Fatherhood Gist With Favour.
Thank you.
Such an honor.
Thank you. Okay, so I have Lillian with me, and today we are super excited to be reviewing a very interesting movie. It is a movie, and it first came out as a book.
Yeah.
And I also think every young lady should go see that book.
Definitely.
Very important.
Absolutely.
And it is going to teach you a lot on finance. You don't want to miss it. Ego dem power. Money is important. Okay, so today I am reviewing this book with my friend Lillian, and we are going to be looking at the role of Tami's father in her career and finance journey. And I'm even speaking with a finance guru. This lady, an accountant general. You don't want to miss.
I can't say I'm a finance guru. We're not there yet.
Don't worry, she's getting there. She's getting there. Okay, so Lillian, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you.
So good to be here. Thanks for having me.
How did you feel reading that book?
Oh my goodness, like I read it at the point where I was just thinking of the next step to take in my finances.
Okay.
And then someone recommended, and I read, and like it was such an eye-opener for me, and to be honest, like I was really excited.
You see that?
The moment you said we had a review to do on a particular character, I'm like, oh, why not? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay guys, I don't have my microphone here, but I promise you the next episode we are going to have live like this. I am going to have my microphone, so you just have to please stay with us. Do not touch the dial as we go into this review. You are going to love it, trust
Definitely.
me. You gotta like it. Okay, so guys, so Tami, I'm just going to give
Like a brief background of who Tami is.
a brief background on who Tami is and who the dad is. Tami is one of the 4 ladies in Smart Money Woman. And Tami is that young girl that is in her, I think she's in her early 30s. Yes, in her early 30s, whose father is well-to-do. She's not coming from a poor home. She's not thinking of what to eat. She did not grow up in a poor background per se. She went to a good university, a private university at that. I think she read marketing or something like that. Yeah, and then she just finishes school and says, I want to do fashion. So for her it was a passion, and she really wanted to do fashion. But her father, the first few years, tried to encourage her to go do a career, but she didn't agree with the father.
Nigerian parents would
like
do.
every Nigerian father would do. Exactly. And so the father initially wanted her to do her career, go work with the certificate that she got from the university, but Tami wanted to do fashion. And because Tami is daddy's girl, so daddy started to so Tami's father started to invest in her career, in her passion, giving her money and a lot of that. But at a point he got tired, because the thing he was putting his money into, he wasn't getting any form of return for him. So the daughter kept coming back for more money, and the father was paying rent, the father was helping to pay the staff. She just kept asking for more money. But at the time, the father now said, I'm not going to give you any money again. You are either going to stop this or you run it on your own. So the father was like, it is either you stop this passion of a thing and go get a job that will feed you. I can't keep feeding you. You are an adult. Or you face it and face it alone. In fact, the father got to a point where the father got him a job with a friend, and she wasn't interested. She got angry. That decision that the father made her get angry. She went to her vision board, was crying, was fed up, and she went to her friend, her inner calculus, who sat her down and said, don't worry, we're going to fix this. This person said, I'm going to help you. Talk to this person. This person said, I'll help you with your record, because her figures were actually wrong and she couldn't get funding because she wasn't getting returns, like no profit and all that. And so this one said, I'm going to help you work with your legal documents and all that. And then with all this, she started after they have helped her to put all this together, it now looked like she was
having some headway.
You get. And one day she gets an interview invite where she has this interview, and she spoke so well. The father's friend called the father to congratulate the father, and the father sees her, is excited, is happy, he's not saying, I'm proud of you. You get that? And we are like, where is this coming from? You are not proud of this girl before now.
Coming from a man who told you to drop that passion,
you know. So as she said, I'm proud of them. I mean, the father said, I'm proud of you and all that. Now, at the end of the day, we see Tami in this current episode of the season 2. Tami is beginning to get fundings. Tami held a show that was sponsored by Shola, and she's beginning to get funding. People already volunteer, like she's not even going to meet them now. People are coming to meet her. I want to be part of this thing you're doing, and we are seeing that Tami is making a headway. It is looking like the future is looking brighter than she thought, or than her father thought. And that is what we are going to discuss this evening. We are discussing it now, not even going, we are discussing it now. And so we are looking at the role of Tami's father in this whole journey. So let's start with this, Lillian. I know that you will see all the things that Tami's father did.
Okay.
What do you think that Tami's father was doing wrong?
Okay, what was Tami's father doing wrong?
Yes, because so there were things that he did wrong that made the girl really cry.
Yeah, but I think that it's okay to even stand what he was doing right, because you know that every father wants the best for his
Exactly.
child. So definitely he wanted the best for his child.
Yes.
And that was why he was pushing her to try to switch careers, or switch career paths basically.
Yes.
Because fashion was like a career for her. But then the father wanted her to do one of the conventional things,
yes,
the marketing she studied and all of that. So he wanted the best for his child, but he wanted the best from his limited perspective.
Exactly.
He did not have full knowledge of her future, her capabilities and everything. And so he wanted the best. However, there was something he did wrong, like you asked, what did he do wrong? So what I think he did wrong was indulging her a little bit too much.
Wow, I didn't see that coming. Yes,
not a little, but he indulged her so much.
Yes.
Because I mean, your daughter's business is not making any returns. Like there is no return on this investment. Because it should be an investment for you.
Yes.
If you're pumping money into someone's
yes,
business, you should be getting return on that
yes,
investment.
exactly.
But then you keep bankrolling this girl. You keep pumping money into her business, paying her rent, and you get no
paying
returns.
the shop rent too.
I mean, and you get no return. So at a point, I mean, he should have started this earlier.
Yeah.
And told her that, see, if I give you money, I should get returns on it.
Exactly.
So I feel like he indulged her a little bit too much by just funding her lifestyle. And then she was living like a baby girl when in actress, and she wasn't a baby girl.
Exactly, because she wasn't making any money.
She wasn't making any money.
Exactly.
I mean, she had even eaten into her capital and all of that. So I think what he did wrong was indulging her too much. Like also to actually invest in a particular business. It doesn't matter who. I mean, even if Favor, you have a business now and you call me to invest, we're going to sit down and have a proper financial conversation about my returns and all of that. Of course, I know that it's not going to be rosy at the beginning, right? But I'm going to sit down, have a proper conversation on how the business is going to go and all of that. So I think that's one thing he got wrong. If you are investing in your business, we should have a tete-a-tete, like sit together, an agreement, discuss that this is what, I'll bring my opinion, bring my views on how to make the business run better. But then he just did it like, doing my daughter a favor. He didn't see it like a business.
Like a business.
If he had given it like a business mindset or a business venture, that would have made more sense, because he would have been able to account for everything,
yes,
and actually confirm that he's making no returns on this investment and then know where to set it right. So I think that's majorly what he did wrong. He overindulged her, and then he did not actually sit down to have a proper plan or conversation as to how.
Which now made her lazy.
Exactly. So
now made her lazy.
I think that's what he did wrong.
Yeah, you see, that's one of the things about people that come from rich homes. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this as plainly as possible, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. Do you see why people from poor homes seem to rise? There's this vigor in them.
There's great.
If that girl was not, if she didn't have a place to sleep, if she didn't have a place to, if she didn't have a lot of money to,
she didn't have someone bankrolling her, basically,
like she would
have been able to sit up and discover what is wrong with my business and what can I do to move it forward.
And I feel like she even started too big.
Well,
you see that?
If you have it, you can start.
Like if you have it, and that's one of the things. If she was coming from a place where nobody was pumping her with money, free money, because that was free money from her daddy. If she was coming from a place where nobody was pumping her with free money, she would have started from the scratch. And there is something that happens to you when you start from the scratch. You are able to put yourself together. You account for because if you don't get the 1 naira, every penny that you put inside it, do you understand? So, and coming from a rich home is not bad. We should make good backgrounds for our children. I mean, our children should come from she will come to this life and they are not thinking of how to start business. That was the father supporting her.
Even the Bible says a rich man leaves an
inheritance for the children. Yes, so it's not like
against it.
So, but we are saying that
sometimes you do not just overindulge them. Rich, do not overindulge your children. Let them see that this is what life is. You have to put in effort on your own. You don't expect me to do everything for you. Yeah, that's
I saw a video last time where the video talked about how can a rich father raise another rich child, and that man said, it's on my YouTube, I might not be able to get it correctly, but the man said, do not overindulge your children. And that is exactly what we are saying. Tami's father,
it's the same thing they say about teaching someone how to fish and not giving them fish. Because I feel like what the rich people I don't want to say what some rich people do is that they just give their children fish and keep giving the children fish. That's what Tami's father was doing. He kept giving this girl. You didn't teach her how to fish. He has a successful business.
Exactly.
And he did not get successful by being bankrolled by somebody else. When he just spent the money, right? He actually had a plan. He sat down, made financial plans and everything. So if he had taught her how to fish and not just giving her the fish, she would actually have been better.
Even if he had even called business people, enrolled her in a business school, got her some legal, somebody to train her, I think that would have helped. So again, I'm talking about what Tami did wrong.
Okay.
Lilia, what did Tami did wrong?
What did Tami do wrong? Okay, so I think one major thing that she did wrong, aside from the fact that she actually did not have financial management for her business, that is even a different story on its own. Another thing I feel like she did wrong is that she did not sell her business idea to her dad. I mean, this is someone investing in your business. You should be able to pitch yourself, pitch your idea, sell yourself to this person, right? So one other thing I would say is that, you know how someone has a track record. So if her dad has had a track record of her making proper decisions for herself, he probably would have understood and gone with her idea of saying, oh, I've seen this girl make this decision and it turned out successful, and so I would also just give her the freedom and the levity to do what she wants. But the fact that there was no track record of her succeeding at something she decided to do on her own,
it's like she has been that girl all the while.
Exactly. Did not have that trust and confidence in her. So he couldn't leave her to just do this thing, although he later left her to do the what's it called now, the fashion thing on her own. But he still did not have that confidence in her. That's the reason why he just kept bankrolling her, kept giving her money whenever she requests, because he felt like this is still my baby. She doesn't have, the ability to make proper decisions on her own. So I think that's one thing she did wrong, not showing her dad her full potential. not showing her dad that this thing I want to do, yes, it is my passion, and I am passionate about it, and I am also, should I say, qualified. I also have the dexterity to do
it. Exactly.
So
exactly.
I think that was one of the places where I feel that she did not really do well. If she had told her dad, if she had seen a track record of things she has done in the past and how they have turned out successfully, and if she had also sold her idea positively to her dad, I feel like the dad would have believed in her and not have been making the suggestion that she quits her fashion design
to go and face
and move to career. Another thing I think she did wrong is okay, so you know there is a way that you honor your parents and somehow they just leave you to do what you want to do because of that honor. Especially when, although this is not the case of Tami, you know, where in some cases God like put something in your heart for you to do and your parents are against it. There's a way you can actually pray about it.
Exactly.
If you know,
I was going to talk about that.
There's a way you can pray about it, and then all of a sudden you see your parents' hearts change. Because actually the heart of kings is in the hand of the Lord. So
and that's for believers.
This
is very important for a believer.
That's for believers. If the Holy Spirit wants you or would have you do something and your parents are not agreeing with that thing, although you have to honor your parents, but you don't have to seek the face of God in the place of prayer and actually just leave it for God to turn your father's heart and all of that. So I feel like those were two major things that could have been better, and if this were done,
very powerful,
maybe it wouldn't have turned out the way it turned out.
Very, very powerful. You see, these conversations are really important, especially for younger people. If you're in your 20s, you are, especially you are in the university, you are about to enter the university, you just left the university, you are in the stage of making a lot of decisions when it comes to your career, and sometimes even your marital decisions. And your father, if you have a father, and your father figures are a very important part of those decisions. Everything that Tami's father was doing for Tami was out of love. Don't get it wrong. True. All of them were out of love.
Definitely.
There was never one that he did out of hate. Everything he did was out of love. And we now understand that you can love somebody and not be able to discipline that person. That is not also love enough.
I like that thing you just said. You can love someone to a point of destroying that person.
Yes, so that is not also love.
Yes, well, from your perspective, it could be love, but then it is not the kind of love the person needs at that
moment. You get. So that was what Tami's father was doing. He was too glued. That kind of emotion comes with mothers. But you know, it was after something that he now stood up, as a man and now said, "I'm not going to do this again." And it was that standing to his feet to say, I'm not going to sponsor this. That Tami saw that her rent was expiring, and she had two options: either to close up the shop and go and do another thing, or look for money and keep doing what she was doing. That is what changed the whole thing. So, fathers, there are times when you need to sit up, stay on your fatherly role and say, this is what I think you should do.
And be forthright with your
children. And be forthright with it. Yes, and tell them the truth. There are other times when, this thing that she talked about, track record, I want to say it now. If you're a young person, one of the things you should do is, before he reaches the time of making big decisions, I have seen it in my own life. Before you get to the point of making big decisions for yourself, start with the little decisions. As a person, let your father see that you are accountable for decision making. Let him see that in the tiny things. You say, I want to get a pen. You don't go to buy a pen and end up buying a book. That is, yes, because they will not trust you.
Yes,
you can't go to get a spoon and you get there and you see fork and you now leave the spoon you went to buy. That is nonsense. And you're teaching them not to trust you. So when the time comes for you to take the decision, they will know that this one cannot even take proper decisions in the little things. Absolutely. Track record, very, very important. You want to marry a man, and it is now that you want your father to trust you that you know how to choose a man. When you've never made any decision in your entire life, there is no way your father will trust you. If I'm even your father, if you were even your own father, you will not agree. No, that's the truth. If you're even your father, because you'll be scared for your child. making decisions in the little things. They send you to school, go to school. Don't go to school and start doing. Let your father not catch you doing another thing in school, and then your father comes back and now says that this one. You get, so that track record is what Tami missed. That made his father now start imposing his own career decision on her. If Tami's father had seen a track record, a worthy track record, I tell you, worthy track record, he might not have he might not have stopped her from doing, he might not have supported her rather from doing for doing that passion fully, but he will not be open to say don't do it. In his heart, he will still have some bias, he will still be worried, but because he knows that this my girl, I know her. In fact, the worry will be from a place of when will this thing even break forth or break through for this girl. Not that this girl cannot do it. So track record is important. Young people, including me, favor inclusive, yes, favor inclusive, Lillian inclusive. You are in your 30s, you are in your 20s, especially 20s and 30s, early 20s. If you have not done big things like marriage is a big thing. And you trying to get married without your father's approval is another big issue, which I'm going to talk about one of these days. It's a long table that plenty people are on top, and I don't like it. You get? So start making quality decisions as a young person, especially if you know that your father is the kind of person that doesn't really agree to things on time, and if you need his support. That's very important. Thank you for that. I mean, that alone has cleared a lot of things on this table. And then we are now looking at what changed. We now see in that movie. If you have not seen that movie, please, you need to consider, and especially for young ladies, that's a very important place to be. So a very important movie to see. So at a point, things have changed. Things change for Tami. Tami now begins to get funding. Tami attends an interview, and the father's friend is calling, your daughter have done amazingly well. You get? And so we are asking, at this point, the father is now proud of his daughter, and he says, I am impressed. You get it? That's a very a proud father moment. And so we are asking, what changed?
Okay, what changed?
What changed?
Okay, like you have said, we see a father that was previously saying, you see this is your fashion thing, no longer interested.
I don't want it.
No longer interested. And then the father, still on that same fashion issue, now says, oh wow, I see what you're doing in your fashion.
Yeah, and even now promises to invest more money.
So the question now is, what changed? So I think that first of all, the push, the father, should I call it push? Not push. The fact that the father said he was going to like stop investing in her business made her have a rethink of the whole thing, because now she knew that, oh, I mean, this alone, I don't have my father to keep investing even when I'm making losses. So I need to figure out a plan on my own. I need to sit down, I need to go back to the drawing board and actually decide what it is that I'm doing wrong. So I think it was at that point that you mentioned that she actually went back to her friends. And of course, she had the right connection. Having the right connection is one thing. It's a major thing.
It's a major thing.
Having the right relationships, and not just having those relationships, but actually utilizing those relationships.
Exactly.
Now,
utilizing them, because you can have them and not utilize
all
them.
Along. They have been friends for the longest, but she never utilized them. She had a financial person in her
team.
She had a legal person, and all of that. So she wasn't utilizing her the
and she had an investment person there too.
Imagine an investment banker, but she wasn't making use of all of those opportunities that she had in her circle. But when she decided to go back and utilize these people's expertise, it was obvious that was where things changed. Because she went back, and then now she could sit down and now have a financial plan for her business. Now understand what it means by how they say profit and cash is different. Cash is illusion. And then I think profit is illusion.
Yes, and
cash is real.
Yes.
Yeah. So she began to understand all of those things, because before then she wasn't having proper record keeping. Yes. But then with the help of her friend who is an investment banker, financial analyst, and all of that, she could get to see what she was doing wrong in her business.
Now for the first time she had a proper business plan.
She had a proper. Just imagine,
for the first time
she started a business all along without a business plan.
So
all of those things are the things that change, and I would say that a major cause of that change was the fact that the father actually took the back seat and told her that, see, you know what, I'm not going to do this with you anymore. So if the father had not taken that step that he took, she might never have realized that, see, this thing I'm doing is pure. I mean, of course I need to sit up. So because of what her father did, she knew that she had to sit up, that's one. And secondly, she made use of the people in her circle. She had the right people in her circle, but she had not been making use of them properly before that time. So yeah, she made use of those right people, and that was where she started. Also, I think that, like I mentioned earlier, that she wasn't pitching herself enough, right? Right? She wasn't pitching herself enough. So at the point where she went to give that pitch, where she went for that interview, where her dad's friend heard her speak, that was like the major place where she actually pitched herself.
Yes, for the first time. About her business.
Her dad had never heard that before.
Trust me,
if her dad might have heard that
true.
Earlier,
I mean,
if her dad had heard that earlier, he probably would have seen that, oh, I mean, there is some,
it's
like,
true.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, this business is going to be profitable in the long
run.
In the long run. But she never pitched herself to her dad as well. Just, Daddy, I want to do business. Give me money. Do you understand? So if she had actually pitched herself to her dad, he would have had positive interest in her business, and then they would have been on the same page. So I think those are the things that changed. Now she could pitch herself very well. That's why it's important that in whatever you're doing, you know, you have to have a proper plan, a proper understanding of what it is you are doing, and you know, be able to pitch yourself. Basically, just pitch yourself.
Someone is writing something.
So I think that she pitched herself, number one. Aside that, she pitched herself, and also she was able to her dad's sitting back actually made her push herself forward, and then utilizing the right circle that she had. I think those are the major things that made her.
That's so good. So good. Thank you. Someone said we are doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know. So oh my goodness, this business thing, this Tami's issue is a story of many people who are coming from places where their fathers are pumping in money, and I believe that if the father had done that sitting back a while ago, her business would have switched earlier. So the father did not realize that he needed to pause,
to pull back.
Yes. And let this person
take the front seat of her life. Take the driver's seat of her life. You know, because so that was literally taking the driver's seat of her life.
Making decisions for her and all that. And you could see that, of course, she was eating mommy and daddy's food. She had daddy's car to drive.
No worries.
There was nothing to push her.
Adulthood was adulthood.
I mean, she was adulthood, really. So, I believe that if fathers can rather come to a place where they know when to give instruction, and for once allow their children, wait for their children to even take these instructions, act on these instructions. I believe that one of the things that was making Tami's father pumping that money was fear of the future for the daughter. Fear of the unknown. The father did fear of failure. The father did not want this girl to fail. But let me tell you that him now having the strong mind to say, even if you have to fail, let us, so that you will know that you even failed and you need to sit up.
Yes, I totally
sometimes
agree.
You overprotecting, over-guiding is why your son, your daughter is going to school and reading 5 years and cannot come back to account for 1 year. You are overprotecting these children. And is it wrong to protect your child? No, I'm not even going to tell you not to protect your child.
I'm just going to mention something that I listened to someone yesterday.
Okay.
And the person mentioned that, you know how children want to start walking and then you try to stand up and then you fall. You try to stand up and you fall. So imagine that you have a child, and the first time the child falls, you just watch and be like, oh, he's a baby, he falls, and that's fine. Second time he falls again, and you're like, oh, why is this baby falling like this? Now you should be walking by now. Oh, I don't like the fact that you're falling. And the third time the baby falls, you now go and buy a wheelchair. And say,
that will never work.
This baby, I don't like the way you're falling. Let me give you a wheelchair so I'm pushing you out. That child can never walk.
Never.
So that's exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
Allow the children to fall. Allow them to fall. I don't mean that you shouldn't guide them, or don't get me wrong. I don't mean that you shouldn't guide them. But then falling and rising up is a part of life.
It's a part of life.
So you should allow them to take decisions on their own. Allow them fall, then you direct them again. It's just like if a child is trying to walk. You allow them fall. Excuse me. and you tell them no. The next time you put your first foot in front, you put the next after. That's how they learn.
That's
Excuse me.
Tami's father never even really sat Tami down to say, okay, let us go through this your business thing properly. Can you even submit me a business plan? That I'm giving you better ways that Tami's father would have gone about this issue. You know, all along, bring your business plan. So who are the people even interested in this business and all that? But he kept pumping in money, and you know, this is important for young people who their father is also against their business, your father is not, he's against your business because he's afraid though. He doesn't want you to fail. He doesn't want you to fail, and that fear too is not, he's genuinely concerned, but his concern is from a place of, but now it's costing you, it's costing you your own boldness, because there are things you would never be able to do if you hang on to that overprotection. That is why people from struggling families who nobody cares for, they go out there, take all the risks, and before you know, years to come, it's the one trying to take care of all your these things. And so you see now where the things change. So we are going to have a final word I'm going to give, and then the final word we are saying in all of these stories. If you have a father who is not agreeing to your career decision, what you want to study in the university, what you want to do as a job, I'm talking about career and finance. I'm not talking about your marriage. Don't worry, we're coming back to that marriage issue. I'll bring a marriage counselor to talk on that. But we're not talking about marriage. I'm talking about your career. You want to read computer engineering. Father wants you to read medicine because he wants you to be a medical doctor. Because he himself, he did not become medical doctor because his father did not train him. I'm telling you why your father doesn't want you to read engineering. He has one love. There's one man he was admiring when he was a young person that was a medical doctor, and he has sworn in his life that his son must become a medical. That is the truth now. That is where we are all African children now. We know this thing, and you know, I teach in a big school where you see all sorts of things. Parents from all sorts of works, from all sorts of places coming with all their decisions. So I understand this thing, but I'm giving you tip that will help you. If your father is that kind of person, it is not a thing to dishonor him. It's not a thing to worry about. It's not a thing to go around messing up or running away from school. What to do is this thing we are telling you. Number one, before he gets to that point, first of all, make sure you have a clean record of good decision making. That's one of the things we have been saying. Make sure you have been making quality decisions in little things before you get to the big things. Very important. Then the second one, we are saying that when he gets to this point like this, know that it is from a place of love. Your father is doing everything he's doing. Sometimes they are doing it out of fear, out of pride. They want to show their children to the world. They want their children to say that they can be asking daddy doctor and daddy engineer. It is okay. But know that it is from a place of love. And then number 3 is have a heart-to-heart conversation with your father. Make him understand. You might not be able to make him understand in one day, but in several occasions, try to speak to daddy. Daddy, you know this? Daddy, have you seen the importance of this thing? Daddy, have you seen the top women in this thing? Daddy, do you know that people...
Make him see what is the need for him.
You get that thing that we are talking about. So, go in, tell him, Daddy, bring top people in that career line that are making a lot of money, because it's money that he wants you to make too. He wants you to be a rich boy and a rich girl. So bring top people who are making and say, Daddy, have you seen this? If it is a business, bring a business plan. Have a step. Don't just be talking to your daddy and you don't have things put in place in the background. He's not going to agree. Even you, if you were on daddy, you will not agree. And then the third thing is, as a believer, pray for your daddy.
You can't take that part out.
I cannot take it out. I'm hoping to write a book on this. And the thing is that one of the things you must pray for your daddy about is his decision making. Your father should be able to see you from the perspective of God for you.
Because his knowledge is limited compared to the knowledge of God concerning you.
You get, If your father knows that God made you a medical doctor, he will not, you are not the one to tell him that you want to read medicine. On his own, he already knows. So when you, if you're doing the wrong career, and you come to your father, and your father is a priest that understands his role in your life, when you come, he might not even force you, but he will say that, I'm not sure this is what God put in my heart for you. I'm not sure this is what God will want you to do. You get? Yeah. And then he might even go back and go and be praying, God, redirect the steps of this boy. It is not something to fight for. So please add to these things I've said.
I think you have said it all. Okay, but I think I just want to add one thing to it, and it's the part of heart-to-heart conversations with fathers that you already spoke about. Now, there are two types of children I know in this life. There are two types of children. There's the type of child that says, oh, I've messed up, my dad's going to kill me, I can't call my dad, who do I run to now? And there's another type of child that messes up and say, oh my God, I just messed up, I need to call my dad. And I would like to say that I want us to be the second kind of dad, of child to our children, such that when you make a mistake, when you make an error, when you feel that things are not going right, you reach out to your dad. Because I feel like in this case, if Tami had such a close relationship with his father,
dad, she would have been
able to like tell her that, oh, Dad, this is what I'm seeing in my business. I'm messing up. There are no profits. What do I do?
Can you help me?
Yeah, of course, that was a business person too, so he probably would have been able to help. But I think she was in a case where, oh, I messed up. What do I do? Who do I run to? I don't have anybody to run to. I can't tell my dad this, that I business is not making profit. So I think that should be the second, in the second category. When you mess up, that should be one person you should look to. And I think that fathers also need to do better in building relationships with their children. If you do not build such a relationship where your child can come to you when they mess up, absolutely, they run from you when they have issues.
And they'll be looking for outsiders to share their
so
problems
fathers
with.
Should try to create a very conducive environment where your children can, come up to you with whatever issues they have, issues in finances, issues in relationship, whatever it is. We all need to learn to do better. It might not be easy, but then we should learn to do better, such that when our children have issues, we are the first point of call. So that's basically what I'll be adding to
exactly. Very beautiful. Guys, we had a good time.
I had a good time.
We've had a very beautiful time.
I had such a good time.
Okay, so the next review is something you are not even thinking of yet. I'm not gonna tell you, but we're gonna review a very fantastic movie. We're gonna review the role that fathers played in the lives of their children in that movie. That movie is one movie every Christian family home, including the non-Christian homes, should watch. Very important.
With their children.
With their children, very important. So we are going to review it very soon, and I am going to come your way again.
Oh my God, it was so nice to do this.
Thank you, Lillian.
Really nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, Lillian is right. Guys, we'll start taking applications very soon.
I'm so honored to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lillian. This was so good. So good. So good. Okay, I'm just going to try to read the comments. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Afi. Thank you. Who is this? Okay, good talk. Sometimes from the flip side, when kids also agree. Okay, I'm going to just read this to everybody. Okay, thank you so much, Ma, for writing. She said, good talk. Sometimes from the flip side, when kids also agree with fathers or kids also agree with their kids, it turns out well. Okay, yes. My kid's sister today is a very successful medical doctor. Okay, I remember way back my dad used to tell her, Mama, you will be a doctor. Okay, you can take care of my health. Okay, so you can take care of my health. Wow. And this shaped her career path. Wow.
Yeah, okay. We didn't look at it from this perspective. We only look at the other side. So thank you very much for that beautiful perspective.
Thank you so much for this perspective.
I agree with you.
Yes, it is true. There are times when your father makes these decisions, and in fact, from what she said that her father used to say, you will be a doctor. And I don't think it was from a place of force.
Yes,
from this
beautiful point.
Yes, it is not a place of force.
There's a way you have an idea for your child, or you have a vision for your child, and you make them so interested in it such that they think that it is their decision. I don't know how best to explain it.
But then
there's a way
they believe in you for that decision.
Exactly. You tell them this is what I want you to
yes.
do. You give them your good reasons, you bring forth your good point, and then the child sees how interesting this time. So making it seem like I actually did not force you to do this. I just, presented it to you, and then you loved it too.
That's
so that way you are not forcing the child to do this. You are not making a decision for the child. You just sold the idea to them, and they found it beautiful, and then they
did it. Yeah. And sometimes this is even from childhood.
Exactly. Yes.
You get from childhood, and because it is coming from daddy, girls so much believe that their fathers are their heroes. So when daddy is saying something, not when somebody is an adult and you're forcing a decision on that person, that is entirely wrong.
Yeah.
So but when daddy says, my baby girl, every time you call her doctor, that one is fantastic. The daughter is already, from that alone, so the daughter believes that the father
into her consciousness that this is what
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And another thing too is when you are father, I had a conversation with somebody this week or last week, and I advised that person to see watch our video, last week video. And one of the things the person was saying was the father not agreeing to a particular decision. And so she said something, and I like it. She said, my father asked me, have I ever told you something and it did not happen like that? And she said no. I said, that is it. See, in this decision now, you are not going to put your father off because it has come to this kind of decision. The question I want to ask you is, in the previous times, does your father have a track record of making quality decisions for you? If yes, you cannot write him off at this point. If your father is that person that in fact the father is the person, is the kind of person that prays before he even comes to say something. So if your father is that kind of person that when you want to buy B, your father after praying and come and say, Ada, don't you think that C would be better? Because I saw you with a better C. And when you try C turns out better than B. And your father have the track record of doing that over and over again. Even you self, you should have sense, because in that one that you people are dragging, if it is God that is telling you, God will go back to show your father. Because your father has become over time a voice over your life. And God will not allow the voice you have obeyed over time to now be your destruction. You get, God will not allow that. Thank you so much, Mama, for that. Yeah, it is. Yes, it was not forced. Exactly. He appealed to her. Exactly. He appealed to her emotions, and it worked.
Yeah, that's what we have said.
Yes, it's and that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much, ma, for that contribution. It had brought
really
another perspective to this. Thank you so much. People, I have had fun, and Lillian has also had a lot of fun, and we are going to come your way again with another review very soon, not too far from now. Until we come your way next time, keep staying strong, keep honoring your father. We are strong on honoring your father, because this is the first commandment with promise.
I love it.
Honor your father.
I love it.
Honor your mother. Don't choose your mother above your father. No matter what has happened, I know some people have a lot of bad experiences with their families, with their parents, with whatever it is. There is a place of honor. God said, I will repay. Allow God to judge. Do your thing as honor. And in everything, do not stop praying for your father. Particularly if he has a lot of power over you. It is going to help you, and it is going. And if you're a young man, see, we are praying for you. We want you to be the best of the best fathers.
Yes.
We are trusting God that God is raising Mordecai's in this generation. He's raising Abraham's. You know what Mordecai did? Mordecai was that person that played the role of a father in the life of Esther. If Mordecai was not there, Esther might not have ever touched that palace. So God is raising Mordecai's, and you can be one of them. And of course you will be. Thank you for joining us.
We love you guys.
We love you. Have a fantastic week, and
right.
see you
next
again.
time.
We love you.
Bye.